Hey, this is Darryl, and in this video, I am going to talk about the 7 steps to visualizing your magical life. So you're going to want to stay tuned. Okay, so what are the 7 steps? Well, before we get into that, I would imagine because you're a seeker for the best and you want to achieve and you want to live your greatest life, you've probably heard about the power of visualizing. I have been honored to have worked and coached with people all over the world, and I know a lot of people have heard about the power of visualizing their life, but so many people just don't really do it. So like anything, if you want to build some muscle, what do you have to do, right? You have to exercise. You have to build that muscle. You need to do something. Same thing with visualizing. There's actually a process to this. So before I go through the 7 things, you want to get yourself set up to have a good experience. So a few tips. Number 1, be in a comfortable place. So maybe you're sitting at a desk or a table or wherever you want to sit, right? Maybe it's on a beach, maybe it's out in nature, whatever feels good for you, but as long as you're comfortable. Along with it, try not to have a lot of distractions, right? So if you can really immerse yourself in this exercise without, your phone, getting a text or a phone call, or you're in a place where you're constantly looking up and looking around you because there's a lot of things going on, try to eliminate as best as possible. Other things that can support you in this process, music. Sometimes you can play music and it just kind of gets the juices flowing, gets the mind awakened. And that's the biggest thing that you really want, because you want to visualize. You want to be able to see your magical life. And it is magical. All right, so those are some of the things. Let's go ahead and jump in. Okay, so ultimately what we're really doing here is we're looking at 7 different areas of your life. So number 1, financial. Let's talk about your financial. Wherever you are in your life, there's some money that has to be pretty important to you, I'd imagine. So once again, what do you want financially? And once again, there's no judgment here. You might be thinking, well, gosh, I'm in debt right now, or I don't make a lot of money. That's not the point. It's not about narrowing in on your limits. What's the problem in your life? It's where do you want to be in your life financially? Do you want to be free of any sort of financial restrictions? Do you want to put out there that you want to step in and find opportunities to create more abundance and more financial rewards in your life? So once again, this is where you want to just close your eyes, or you want to listen to that music. You want to get, start writing things down about the shift and the change, or ultimately what you visualize in that part of your life financially. So once again, don't limit yourself. This is your magical life. This is what it's all about right here. You don't need to share this with anybody. You're not going to get graded. There's not a bad or a good. It's your willingness to go deep with this and to play full out is going to give you the greatest impact here. And this is about a shift internally. That's why we're going through this process, to visually see it. If you're struggling with the visual part of this, that's okay. Once again, if you haven't ever gone to a gym or some exercise class, the first time is going to be really awkward. It's going to be painful, and you may not even want to come back. But if you choose to come back, it's going to be a little bit better. So this process, this isn't a one-time thing. You can literally do this weekly if you wanted to. It's how bad do you want that magical life? Then that'll determine how many times you go through this process. Number 2 is your ideal job or your career or even a business. This is huge. 60% plus of our time, usually as adults, is spent in our career or job. This is like a major portion of every day of what you do. So if you're not happy with what you're doing right now, you can sit in your sorrow and self-pity and how bad things are. Or you can say, you know what? I'm going to start with this process of what would my ideal job, career, profession, what would it look like? And you start going through that again. What do you enjoy doing? Who do you enjoy being with? What would challenge you? What would be very rewarding? What would make you want to wake up every single day and actually be excited about, this isn't a job, this is a gift, this is a play for me. This is so much fun, right? As my mentor, Tony Robbins, would say, what will keep you up late and get you up early? So this is huge. And so you want to visualize, you want to put this in your mind's eye and visualize, and what is it for you that will make your life magical? It's not a job, it's not a career, it's who you are, it's the reason why you're here. So that's number 2, is your career, your profession. Visualize, ideally, what would that be for you to create that magical life? Okay, number 3, to balance this out a little bit, because I've worked with a lot of people, and in one area I'm always working with them is their career or their business. I get that. The third one is your recreation time. It's free time. These are things that potentially you did years ago, and you still love it, but for whatever reason you got away from it. Maybe it was playing an instrument. Maybe it was a sport that you love to do. Maybe it was hiking or being out in nature. Maybe it was some board games. Maybe it was just spending more time with people and meeting them for tea and coffee and lunch. Maybe it was getting plugged into your community or being more involved with your churches or your spiritual essence. So once again, visualize recreation time, free time. What would that look like? What would fill you up and make you excited? And just once again, just feeding that magical part of your wholeness, right? Because this is the idea, is it's not one part of your life. We're talking about a process to visualize all areas of your life. Okay, number 4, what is it? If you don't have this, it affects every part of all these different areas of your life. You bet, your health. If we don't have the health, we don't have that ideal body, then, it's going to hold us back. It really is. It's going to hold us back. So this isn't about settling. Once again, this process is that magical life. What is it for you when you visualize? So maybe it's getting that 6-pack back. Maybe it's starting to shape your body and lose the gut and tighten things up and eat better foods so that you are creating energy, which then you can give back and enjoy your life. And the chemicals and the things that we're constantly jamming in to keep us awake or to fill that void we have, that's not magical at all, right? So this is a huge thing. Visualize it, because maybe you're looking at yourself and going, dude, you don't get it right now. I'm way overweight, or I can't even touch my toes, or that's not the idea of what we want to focus on. We want to focus on what is you visualize for your ideal health and your ideal body. All right, moving along. Number 5 is relationships. We need people in our lives, right? A lot of us are the Lone Ranger, and we want to go about, conquering the world by ourselves. But, we need people, but we just don't need anybody. We want fabulous relationships. So if you have a partner, you have an intimate relationship, how is that working for you? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want to see with that person that you will spend the rest of your life with? Or what about just your friends or a peer group, people you want to spend more time with? You might visualize people you want to attract and bring into your life that you don't have in your life right now. People that live at a higher standard, people that are going after really big things in their life. That's what, so maybe you want that in your relationship. So once again, this is just play. This is like really putting it out there. You visualize it first, and that's the whole purpose right here. It's not how am I going to exactly do this? Forget the how. This is to visualize, write it down, and just have fun. Once again, this is your magical life that we're looking to create here. All right, the 6th area, or the 6th step here, is your personal growth. We are either living or we're dying. Personal growth is huge. So what does that look like for you? Maybe you want to commit to, maybe annually find some place or a retreat that you can go to really do that self-discovery. We're so busy doing things every single day that, we don't spend time on ourselves. And the more we grow, the more conscious we become and more aware of our surroundings, and our intuition enlivens. And we can see and hear things differently. How we get that? We need it personal, our own personal area to grow. So that's that area. So what is it for you? Maybe you want to get a coach somewhere in your life to help you, give you feedback, look at your blind spots, put you on the course, hold you accountable. Huge part of our lives is personal growth. And this is the area I see suffering for so many people, right? We're putting all those other areas, prioritizing and putting those first, but we put ourselves last. So we gotta bump this up a little bit. How do we do that? Start to visualize, what would that look like for you? Maybe it's you visualize reading one book a month on becoming, more of a person and self-discovery and things along those lines. Okay, the seventh area, I've hit on this a little bit already, but it's community, and I'd also consider this to be your peer group. There's that saying, if you lie down with dogs, you're going to come up with fleas. All right, I'm not picking on dogs out there for you dog lovers. The point is, though, who you surround yourself with, you're going to be some similarities, some common areas. So maybe for your health and your body, you're visualizing yourself to be a smoke-free, healthy person. But if you're hanging out with people that are smoking, it's going to be challenging because it's going to trigger you, and you're going to probably justify, and you're going to probably maybe potentially break down. We've all been there. It's not a bad thing. There's not bad people, but you got to pick and choose who do you want to spend time with in your life, because there's going to be a huge impact. So, you can encourage them, hey, I'm stopping this in my life and I'm going here in my life. Come along with me. They might not want to, and those are the people who are going to be throwing daggers at you, right? Because they love you, and there's the human need for connection. And if they feel you breaking away because you want to change and transform, they're not going to like that, because they're going to feel like they're losing you. So, this area is huge. I've got my own stories, and maybe I'll share another video on this area, but it's huge. It's if you really want to change your life and live at a higher standard, find those who are at that standard you want to be, or even higher, because that's how you're going to really stretch yourself. You're going to have real examples of these people that are getting it done. And just, by the way, you don't really have to necessarily hang out with these people. They don't need to live within your own community. You didn't have to go to college or high school with these people. A great book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, even said about peer group of, if you're reading a book of a great author, that person is part of your network. You're absorbing their knowledge and their experience through their words, right? Might be a little bit different way of looking at a peer group, but you can get resources. You can model people that you're kind of in awe over, of how they're getting it done. Watch, listen, what are they doing? So this could be through an author, it could be through video, other professionals, depends on who it is that you're striving. That's not to be, you're being yourself, but who you want to model, who's kind of getting it done in their lives that you really go, you know what? I would love to be playing at their level. All right? Okay, great. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel so when I upload, which I do on a weekly basis, you'll be notified and you can watch. All comments are welcome, and please don't be afraid to share this video with someone that you love. With that, I look forward to seeing you on the next video. 7 steps to visualizing your magical life. 7 steps on how to something your magical life. Oh, visualizing, that's right. Well, I've been really, not gifted.